Hello again, guys, and welcome to a discussion video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I think we have a topic amongst the physical media community to discuss. So, it's been a trend. We've seen this for a while now, where movies will come out on physical media, and they'll only get a DVD and a Blu-ray release, right? And I've talked about this before, how I don't like it and why I don't like it. And I'll give a brief rundown of why. I really don't buy. I'm not crazy into the 4K thing like some people are. Like, I don't, uh, inspect the quality of a movie, like, in terms of, how it looks, like, visually. How grainy is it, kind of thing. So I'm not like one of those people. I'm not crazy about like Atmos tracks or anything. So when I buy a 4K, it's usually for like a difference in cover art or something like that, or different special features, kind of stuff like that. So for example, I guess Ghostbusters Afterlife, I was very much not about the cover art they had for the Blu-ray, so I ended up getting the 4K, and this was actually my first 4K. I'm not crazy about the black bar on top that has the name of the movie. It looks weird, but I think that was an error. But yeah, so I tend to, when I buy a 4K or something like that, I tend to buy it because of cover art difference, right? And more recently, the new Mean Girls 4K, I could have bought the Blu-ray Steelbook, but I would have had to pay more. I mean, they are basically the same thing, except quality difference, right? And so I would have been paying the same price, basically, for the Steelbook that was only Blu-ray, or I would have gotten the 4K, which is, new and whatever, right? So anyway, so we know about that, right? That a movie will come out on physical media, and it'll only be given a Blu-ray and a DVD. Well, it seems to be getting worse.
Alright, hi, yeah, real quickly, I'm just gonna pop in here and say, yeah, I didn't go and do research for the past 2, 3, 4 years of which movies got only Blu-ray and DVD releases, because that's stupid. And I'm not gonna go waste all that time on a 12-minute video, alright? If you wanna go do it, have a field day. Have fun, alright? But don't come at me trying to say that I'm stupid and I'm wrong. Because there's always one person.
So I've assembled I have a little bit of a script here. And on this script, I have assembled a little bit of a list of recent movies that have come out in the past year or so. Not even past year, but like past couple months that were released in theaters, or most of them have been released in theaters, but haven't gotten a 4K. And now, of course, there's more that I'm not mentioning, and there might even be one on here that does have a 4K or has a 4K announced, or may get a 4K in a couple months. I can't predict the future, but these are just the movies that I'm aware of, some of which I haven't even seen, but here's the list. Abigail, only getting DVD and Blu-ray. Lisa Frankenstein, only got DVD and Blu-ray. Imaginary, now this wasn't too successful. A lot of these movies are pretty successful at the box office. Imaginary wasn't too successful, though. Immaculate was. The First Omen was. But that's owned by Disney, I think, right now. So, Night Swim, that wasn't too successful. It's a Wonderful Life was a streaming title. So, Drive Away Dolls, Ordinary Angels, and then this one's actually what got me making the video, because if this was released a year ago, I feel like it would have gotten a 4K, because the hype leading up to the movie was pretty good, and when it came out, I don't remember hearing too much negative stuff, but Challengers, I'm so surprised Challengers didn't get a 4K. I mean, it's not really a movie that I feel like needs a 4K. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I mean, the Blu-ray got the Atmos track and everything, but I'm surprised because I feel like among collectors, and I mean, really, that's the people who buy the 4Ks are. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm surprised they didn't give it a 4K. So anyway, Anyone But You, which was made on a 25 million budget and made something like 215 million at the box office, did great for what it made, or what it was made with. That didn't get a 4K. I mean, it didn't even get a slipcover with its release on Blu-ray. So yeah. And then these two Oscar-winning movies from last year, Poor Things and The Holdovers. Neither of those got 4Ks. What? I mean, this list is like, it's a mess. But I mean, maybe I can see The Holdovers getting a 4K this holiday season. But I don't know. I'm not too optimistic about it.
Now I'm just gonna pop in here again and say a couple things. Now, the studios, when they were making the discs and the decisions for Poor Things and The Holdovers, they didn't know that they would be Oscar-winning titles. I mean, they could have probably guessed, but they didn't know for a fact. So, of course, they didn't have it in mind when producing them. But also, I did want to point out that Mid-Level Media literally just made a video right after I recorded it. He uploaded his, and it's much better and goes into a lot better detail, and it says everything I want to say much better. So I'd recommend you just go watch that.
It just seems to be getting worse. And when they do come out on Blu-ray, a lot of them have the collector's edition slapped onto them, and it's terrible. Like Violent Night came out a few years ago, Megan came out a few years ago. They both had that with them. The primary victim, unfortunately, for this seems to be middle budget movies, or the closest we get to middle budget movies, and horror movies. That's what it seems to be targeted at almost. Which really sucks, because a lot of the collectors are also tend to be horror fans. So that's what it seems like for me, at least. But I guess the question is, why is this happening? Well, I've printed out a little chart here, which I'll just put on screen for now. This is from March of last year, so 2023. So it's not exactly up to date, but here it is. And it shows the gray is DVD sales, so obviously DVD sales are huge. The blue sales are Blu-ray, shocker, and the black are 4K UHD. So, obviously 4K, we kind of could have all figured this, is going to be the smallest one. Blu-ray is going to be second biggest, and DVD is going to be the biggest. Now, DVD should be phased out, like the VHS, right? That Blu-ray was supposed to replace it, and 4K was supposed to replace Blu-ray, but it never did. And that can be for a lot of reasons. Probably the reason why DVD is still around is because it's the cheapest one to make, and it's also the most affordable one for people to buy. When a lot of people go to buy a movie, they aren't thinking about collecting and quality, of the disc, and so they just buy the cheapest one. So just so that they can, have it. So people just lean towards the DVDs, right? And I tend to think that those are the people who are like out grocery shopping and kind of just stop in the movie aisle to see what's there. The whole thing with 4Ks is the main people buying them are really collectors, and the studios know that for sure. There's no way they don't know that. And it's a shame to see the collectors, the ones keeping this market afloat, get just discarded and put to the side, right? And so I'm going to bring up another topic here. I want to mention, I bring it up because of the Twisters 4K, or not Twisters, but Twister 4K that was just announced. Now, we got to look at a steelbook from Groove or whatever, and a lot of people weren't impressed with it. It just did not have great artwork. And actually, this Matilda 4K is another reason why I want to bring this up. So Matilda recently got this 4K steelbook, right? Except it never got a standalone 4K, normal 4K disc. It never got a standalone, right? So, people, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? Point Break got the 4K Groove exclusive, or not Groove, Best Buy exclusive steelbook, and then it also got a standalone 4K. So sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. With Twister, people weren't sure if they were going to do it. Now, Warner Brothers does have a habit to announce the steelbook and then a little bit later a standalone, but they kind of took a little while this time. They took a little longer than usual. And people just kind of went and pre-ordered that steelbook. And so then when the standalone 4K got announced, people got a little bit upset because they had already pre-ordered the other one. So, I mean, of course, you can cancel the pre-order, but, it's just the thing with, people don't want to miss out, right? And so sometimes people just, sometimes it is about the artwork, and sometimes people just would rather have a different artwork, right? And they don't want to miss out on, the steelbook. Or if it is just a steelbook, they don't want to miss out on the only 4K release. So, yeah, I don't like the games that the studios play with us, and frankly, I don't like that they're not releasing 4Ks, and it really seems like the only movies that they're releasing on 4K, which I forgot to mention before, are the big blockbuster movies, like, say, Marvel movies, and, movies like Garfield that's coming out, and If, the big releases of the year. Whereas movies like The First Omen aren't going to even get a chance because they weren't made with, general audiences, I guess, in mind, right? So that's my little rant. I mean, for what we do get with horror movies, they tend to the ones that do get 4Ks are usually only franchise movies like Scream and like Evil Dead. Like, right, we just got Evil Dead Rise. That got a 4K. The Menu didn't get a 4K, right? So, yeah. But anyway, that's kind of my rambling. I wish this would all stop. I mean, like A Haunting in Venice, I was holding out, hoping that they would release a 4K down the road because I hated the cover art. They never did. So now I gotta hunt down a Blu-ray for it with a slipcover. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to for a decent price. So I don't know, I may be in a bad spot here. But anyway, so that's my rambling. I don't have much else to say. If you happen to have any insider intel, you should let us know. But you probably don't. So anyway, just like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.